If you want to jackpot for free to Europe, and I mean completely tuition free, let me tell you why I would always recommend Iceland. Number one, and the most important, it never casts. Guys, you know how a lot of these countries are beginning to change their immigration policies and their rules because of the flood of people going there. You see, for Iceland, the situation is different because it never casts. It means that the visa and admission processes will be less competitive. Secondly, you can school completely free. Tuition is free at bachelor's, master's, and even at doctoral level. Alright, so you do not have to pay tuition fees. You can travel with your family at the same time. The visa process is also very straightforward because there's an embassy in Nigeria that can process your applications. As a student, you can work up to 22 hours per week and then unlimited hours during the holidays. The visa acceptance rate for Iceland is considerably high, of course, for obvious reasons that it is less competitive. And you can pursue a 1-year program in the Icelandic language, after which you can then convert to any other program of your choice within the country. So you really do not need to get admission to study a conventional degree or anything like that. As long as you're able to get admission to study the language, you can get into the country. After your studies, if you are interested in pursuing other degrees, you can then apply and then start to study. And the beautiful part with studying Icelandic language is that it gives you an edge over every other applicant, because once you know the language, it is easier for you to get jobs. It's easier for you to actually naturalize into the country. In as much as Icelandic is the official language of the country, English language is widely spoken, so you can get by speaking English language. I mean, over 90% of the citizens of Iceland speak English language, so you don't have anything to worry about. Now, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down all the requirements for visa application, for your admissions to universities in Iceland, the universities that are available, application fees, IELTS requirements, and then those that don't require IELTS, and so much more. So let's get started. Now, what do you need to apply to study in Iceland? Number one, you need to fill out an application form online that is on the school's portal, because universities in Iceland do not have a central application portal. So you submit your application directly to the school. So the second document you need is your CV. You need to have your academic CV. You need to write a strong motivation letter. Okay. You need to upload your academic transcript. You need to provide 2 recommendation letters. You will also be required to provide a copy of international passport that is valid for at least 2 years, and then proof of payment of application fee. Some universities charge an application fee of 50 euros and some charge as high as 150. And then provide proof of English proficiency. The acceptable proof of English proficiency is IELTS, PTE, and TOEFL. For IELTS, you'll be required to score at least a 6.5 overall. For PTE, the minimum requirement is 55. And then for TOEFL, the minimum requirement is 95. Now, there are some universities that will waive the English language proficiency test for you if you can prove that you have studied your previous degree completely in English language. You can prove this by getting a medium of instruction letter from your institution, alright? So it's simply a letter from the university stamped and signed on the school's letterheaded paper, stating that your program was taught completely in English. So you can definitely use this to apply to some universities, but not all universities. Like I would always say, get your IELTS, because it just means that you can apply to more schools and it means more opportunities for you. Now, you're looking to specifically pursue a bachelor's degree, then it's best that you go in through an Icelandic language program, because after this, you can then convert. The majority of the English taught programs are at postgraduate level, which is master's or doctorate. But for bachelors, majority of them are taught in the Icelandic language. Now, you may find 1 or 2 bachelor's programs taught in English language, but this means that you have to settle for whatever program you find. And if you're okay with that, I mean, go ahead. But if you're not, I would advise that you start with an Icelandic language program, all right? And then when you get there, you can then convert to your desired program. Secondly, if you're applying for bachelors, you're going to need to provide your school leaving certificate. So in Nigeria and West Africa, it is called the West African Examination, which is the WASSCE. WASSCE, right? Yeah, and it's also known as WAEC. You can also provide your NECO if you have that. It is totally acceptable. But you must also provide an A-level result. So meaning you must have done a pre-degree, that is a pre-university degree for at least a year. And then you need to add this result to your application. So if you don't have like a pre-degree or some sort of A-levels, maybe you've done OND or HND, you may not be accepted to study a bachelor's degree, even if it is taught in English language. So bear that in mind. It is generally so much easier for you to gain admission to study master's or PhD in Iceland. Bachelor's can be a bit tricky, but if you're able to meet these requirements that I mentioned and you're okay doing just any program at all just to get in, then go for it. Now, I'll be going into talking about the requirements for the visa application. If you're applying from Nigeria or any country around Africa, then you will need, number one, your visa application form. You will need your valid passport, a university admission or invitation letter, one colored passport photograph. You will be required to provide health insurance covering at least 14,000 USD, and I recommend that you get this insurance from an Icelandic insurance company. You will be required to show criminal record certificate, which is known as police clearance, housing confirmation or reservation in Iceland. It could be a hostel reservation or just any maybe Airbnb or hotel reservation that you can get online. You will also be required to show proof of fund. Now, the proof of fund requirement for your visa application for Iceland for every student is approximately 1,740 euros per month. So you multiply that value by 12 months to be able to get a 1-year study permit. All right. If you only have the funds that covers your cost of living for 6 months, you would only be given a 6-month study permit, which you would need to then extend again when you get there. So if you're looking to go through the process once and for all without the hassle of going over the process all over again, then I advise that you have at least a month's worth of proof of funds, right? So you can get your 1 year's study permit at once. Now, if you're going to be traveling with your partner, you're going to be required to show an additional 1,740 euros per month for that dependent. So multiply this by 12 and then you add it to what you have to get what you should be paying for you and your spouse. Now, if you're going to be traveling with your child, any child 18 years and above, you'll be required to show another 873 euros per month, all right, for this child, for the length of time they will be staying. And if you're going to be bringing 2 children, 3 or more, multiply that value by the number of children you intend to bring. Now, you need to add all these figures together, all right, and then that is what is required for you and your family to move together. Now, what's the process for applying for visa, especially if you're in Africa, or precisely in Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, or all the countries around? Number one, you need to fill the online form via the Norwegian embassy. The Norwegian embassy is responsible for processing Icelandic study visas, all right? So you need to apply via the online portal, which is available on the Norwegian embassy website. Now, the second thing is to send all your documents via post. Most people use DHL to the Icelandic immigration. Put all those documents together and then you send them to the Icelandic immigration. What you need to put together are all the documents you have submitted online. Put physical copies of them together in an envelope, properly addressed, and then you post it to the Icelandic immigration. All of this information will be in the description box. Now, once your application has been approved by the Icelandic immigration, you will get a permit, that is a residence permit approval. Now, once your residence permit application has been approved, you will then have to approach the Norwegian embassy through the VFS office. It's at the office that they will then stamp your passport, okay? So remember to go with your passport. They will stamp your passport with the visa, which is your entry visa to Iceland. Now, once you've gotten that stamp, you're good to go. It means that your days in your home country are technically numbered. You can then travel to Iceland. Now, this process takes 1 to 2 months, depending on where you're applying from. Blocked account is not required, so you just need to have that bank balance. You may want to leave the money in your account for like 30 days. Provide them with 3 months bank statement, 6 months bank statement with the required bank balance. In the past, some applicants have actually reported that the immigration office contacts them to top up the money in their account. This is really good because it means that if your proof of fund is not sufficient, they won't just outrightly deny your visa. They would request for a top up. And that makes it so much easier and gives you some, peace of mind. All right. Now, it's also good for you to know that the visa acceptance rate is very high. I mean, up to 98%. So if you're able to get all of these documents right now, guys, see, the way immigration is now. If you wait, there's a chance that policies will change and a lot of these things I'm saying will no longer be valid. So it is important that you work smart, you work fast, because times are changing, immigration policies are changing across the world, and you don't want to be left out. Now, I'm going to be listing some top universities in Iceland that you can apply to. Number one, we have the Reykjavik University, we have University of Akureyri, we have Iceland University of Arts, Bifrost University, we have Hola University, Ikocha University of Iceland, University Center of the Westford, Iceland Academy of Art, Reykjavik Music School, University of Iceland, which is the largest and most popular university in Iceland. Mind you, these are the list of universities in Iceland, and it contains a mix of both public and private universities. Public universities are tuition free, but private universities require tuition. Now, some of these private universities actually provide scholarship opportunities for applicants, and some, even in the public universities, provide scholarship for applicants, meaning that it covers your semester contributions or those application fees you need to pay when you get to the country. Regarding the area of getting student jobs in Iceland, it's important for you to know that if you have skills like hairdressing, barbing, cooking, makeup, if you just have a skill, maybe painting, it definitely helps you stand out amongst other people because you can easily get jobs with those skills, especially as a student. It's also important for you to know that Icelandic universities favor people with higher grades. Say you have a strong 2-1, maybe 2-2 in some cases, or a first class, voila, you are good to go. It means that a lot of these universities would accept you. Some of these universities would require that you certify your documents before applying. Certification is done via a notary public. So make sure that you have your documents certified by a notary public before you apply. Now, for the visa, you'll be required to legalize and authenticate your documents before applying for your visa. This process is not so tedious if you know what to do. Certification of documents is the first step, and it is not really very complicated. All you need to do is approach a lawyer, a notary public precisely, and have them stamp your documents as original. Of course, they have to stamp on a copy, stating that they have seen the original and this is a true copy of the original. And it is that scanned copy that you need to submit your application. Now, some universities in Iceland will insist that your university, that is where you got your degree, mail them. So there's an official email that the school will provide you. You need to provide that email to your school and have them email the Icelandic university, all right, that this is your degree, this is your grade, everything you have provided is authentic. So they just need to reply them with your grades. All right, guys, I really hope that this video was helpful. I'll be leaving every useful link that I mentioned in the description down below. Feel free to click to get started. Now, if you require expert help with your application process, as always, OceanEd is there for you. Use the links in the description to contact us and we cannot wait to assist you. Of course, if you found value in this, feel free to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, click the notification bell icon and share this video with your friends and family who would also find value in this. And until my next video, stay kind and stay blessed. Bye.